Okay, next topic is special topics. We had last time we met was December 27th, and we did a reflection on Sister's retirement from St. Elizabeth's. Does everybody remember that?
Hmm?
Yeah, that was a pretty good conversation. And we kind of wrapped it up. Sister was reflecting on the WIC program that she was involved in. We were all very impressed with that. WIC stands for Women, Infants, and Children. It's a program in the United States that provides nutrition, assistance, and education to low-income pregnant and postpartum women, as well as to infants and young children. I think, Linda, you said you knew something about that program also.
Yeah, I do. Actually, we were on that for a short time. When we first got married, Kate was born within 13 months after we were married. We were married pretty young, and finances for probably the first 3, 4 years of our married life were pretty tough. And so basically, we didn't want to have to use it, but we actually found that it was very helpful. And so people like Sister Margaret Mary that were involved with that, or, even just that the government provided that was very helpful. I mean, I think back to my dad when his dad died very unexpectedly. They had 6 children to raise. There was no government programs then, and how she got by was, I mean, she was very fortunate, but I'm sure times were difficult for her. But long story short, we were women, infant, and children. We became very familiar with that. I don't know, maybe 6 months. I'm not because it goes by income level. I had the first year after Kate was born, I had worked throughout my pregnancy, but the place where I was working, they started laying people off. And by the time she was 3 months old, I lost my job. And I lost my job. Andy he had his master's degree, but he was having a really difficult time finding work. And he was working, I think at that time, like 3 part-time jobs. And even with 3 part-time jobs, our income was at a level that we still qualified for WIC. That's how difficult things were for at least a time. And so we got on that, but we were very grateful because it did help us with formula, and basically that it helped us with formula. And then I think it was also might have been like cheese, peanut butter. There was like 4 or 5 different items that we would get. And like I said, we were on it. I know 6 months, maybe a year. I know we weren't on it any longer than that because eventually things got better, and a job came through for Andy, and we're very grateful for that. But for the time that we needed it, we were always very grateful that the help was there. And I think it just kind of changed our perspective a little bit on, sometimes, you do the best you can and you still need a little bit of help. And I think it was a, kind of an eye awakening moment for us, but we were very grateful for the help that we got. And yeah, so we were very, very familiar with it. And then the other thing too is that because when you kind of struggle financially, doctor visits, and a lot of times, like, when you're working part-time jobs, you're lucky to have any insurance. We didn't even insurance was, something that was out of reach for us for a while. And so eventually we had a health clinic in town, and the health clinic was connected to the WIC. But aside from that, we would go there for doctor visits for quite a while with Kate. And we actually found, in a way, it was kind of a blessing in disguise because there was a few things that the health clinic checked at the doctor's office later down the road with our other two, they didn't check. And one of them was like iron for like anemia and that sort of thing. And we had found at a time that Kate was a little bit low on iron. And it was nothing that was like a life threatening or anything, but it was just something that was good to know. And our regular doctor, I don't think the pediatrician we went to years later, I don't think they actually screened for that, or at least not at that time. And it was because of the health clinic that we did learn of that. So with WIC and the health clinic, we were just really grateful at that time in our lives until things started getting better. But we were grateful that there was some help and support there. I mean, families would always support us, but we were, you just kind of want to do things on your own, and work as hard as you can. But it was kind of a safety net for us. So we were very grateful that we had that help when we needed it. So
Yeah, that's very good, Linda. It's good to hear that story from you. And so you were on the receiving end of it. It
we
sounds
were,
like sister was kind of on the giving side of it. And
yeah.
I'm asking
Excuse me,
questions.
Chuck. When I brought up the book program, I was just saying that it was there. I'm not. I wasn't saying that I was involved in it. And I'm sorry to burst your bubble, but I don't. I wasn't involved in it. I was just saying that I knew we had it over in the outpatient Services Department. That
Okay.
so
All right.
I
Thank you for,
knew of it, but I wasn't involved in it. I was pretty busy in the pharmacy.
oh, okay. Um,
Mm,
did you ever meet any of the woman with seeking assistance?
no, I
Oh,
didn't.
okay.
Uh,
All right, well, we won't spend any more time on that. Let me just summarize what I found out from Meta. Apparently, this program has a rich history that dates back to 1972 when it was first piloted as a supplemental food program aimed at improving the health of pregnant mothers, infants, and children. So I basically I asked her is when did it get started and is it still active? And the answer to is it still active is yes, it's still an active and ongoing program in the United States. It is administered by the Food and Nutrition Service of the U.S. Department of Agriculture and is available in all 50 states as well as U.S. territories and Indian tribal organizations. And I don't know if you're interested in what I'll just quickly go over what the eligibility criteria is. Pregnant, breastfeeding, or postpartum women, as well as infants and children up to age 5. Household income must be at or below 100. I don't know. It says 185% of the federal poverty level, but that doesn't make any sense to me. Meta's not very good at math. Nutrition risk. Applicants must be determined to be at nutrition risk by a healthcare professional. And of course, there's residency requirements. Okay, so that takes care of the other first topic. Linda, thank you for Cindy. Do you have anything you want to add to any of that?
You're welcome. Yeah, I'm just glad it was available when we,
Yeah.
when we had the need for it. So by the time Daniel and Kate was born like 13 months after we got married. Daniel wasn't born for another 6 years after Kate. So by the time Daniel and Jacqueline came along, things had really picked up and improved for us quite a bit. But, just in retrospect, again, we're just very grateful that we had the help when we needed it because the first 3, 4 years, I mean, times were really very lean and, it's just, we're just very grateful that we had the opportunity and it did help us out. So.
Okay. Very quickly, we'll end that discussion. Cindy, did you want to say anything about that?
It is definitely available now. We have several great grandchildren, and some of them were born out of wedlock. And anyway, I just know that, some of them, participated in it to begin with. So,
Okay.